All right, well, good evening, and welcome to the new series that I'm going to call Jediism 101. From my earlier video today, I talked about a new direction that I wanted to take my content, and this is discussing something from my past, and that is my past when I decided to join an online Jedi Order and work with my philosophies and kind of fine tune what I wanted to be. And the main question, of course, we all ask ourselves, or we're asking, is what is Jediism? Now, I have an answer for myself, but I want to discuss it here with you, and I went online to make sure I got the right definition. Now, the reason I'm talking about this today is I started back in October of 2006. I was a studied apprentice. I was very popular. I did my work. Had a lot of philosophy going on me. I was rewarded with the rank of knight eventually, and then of course I also then became a master at the temple. And of course the temple's name is the Temple of the Jedi Force. That website does not exist any longer. Now only exists in a Discord and a Facebook group, which unfortunately both have been rather quiet. But Jedi students can be rather transient as they go in and out, study, learn, move on into the world. And that's kind of what we encourage anyways. It's just be nice if we had a central spot for them to go back to. But in this case here, the reason I want to get back to this is because, not to say I'm out of practice, because you know once you learn a system of beliefs, you practice it every day. But I would be lying to say if I had got it down 100% and would be sticking to it. So by bringing you guys here on my journey through it, or at least on with me with it, I'm going to hopefully kind of put myself uh, back into my studies a little better and work on myself as a person. Now, the first question, of course, is what is Jedi realism? Now, we've hopefully all seen Star Wars. We know what Jedi are. They are the lightsaber wielding warriors for peace and justice in the galaxy, numbering around 10,000, give or take, depending on what era that you were reading from. You can see behind my shoulder here, I have fiction novels of them. I've watched all the movies. I've even played the role playing game. I have a pretty good idea of what Jedi are. Jedi realism, however, takes their philosophy and brings it to life for real world application. Now, I'm going to read the definition that Google has given me here because I want to make sure I get it down correctly. So I'm going to be looking up a lot at my notes so I don't get it wrong. So, Jedi realism is a path that blends Star Wars Jedi philosophy with real world practices, focusing on the ethical and philosophical aspects of the Jedi Order rather than just on role playing or mimicking the fictional Jedi. It emphasizes on personal growth and self improvement through the application of Jedi values and principle in everyday life. So, the key of this is self improvement. And through self improvement, we learn how we can help others as well. And there's a whole bunch of tenets, and I'll be going through those later on. The real world inspirations for Jedi that George Lucas came up with, practitioners are drawing upon philosophical and spiritual traditions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Stoicism, martial arts. I have brought in Bushido is a big thing for me. Chivalry, the Code of Chivalry is a study of mine, all this kind of stuff. And I really seek to have that type of growth. We want to encourage individuals, and I'm reading back on the notes again here, to cultivate virtues like compassion, resilience, integrity, and seek personal growth. This is the embodiment of Jediism. We are trying to improve upon ourselves in an ethical and spiritual way. As I've always taught it, it is a balance of their three selves. And if you've heard me talk about this before, so there's a physical self, that's easy to train. You work out, you do some stretches, you maintain a good body weight, something I'm also going to be working on throughout this series, You're not going to watch me work out, but I'm going to be working on that personally, is working on my physical self, getting, you know, getting some muscle back, losing some fat, and looking the part that I'm supposed to. The mental self is book reading, philosophy, even works of fiction. You can learn things, nonfiction stuff like this. Find something, find a subject you find fascinating, and and research the heck out of it. Honestly, most people with ADHD, we love deep diving into something for about a week. Now, what does that do for us? Well, it doesn't make us an expert, but it does give us a good foothold on a lot of information across many different subjects. That's a very different video, and there are very much learned people that can talk about that. So that's the mental self. The spiritual self, that's a little harder to cultivate. It's inner peace. It's breathing. It is forgiving yourself. It's forgiving others. It's showing compassion and wherewithal, and just working within, getting better and finding your limits and surpassing them. And if you can, take some along with you. I have taught many apprentices over the course of the years, and I look for, and even though I haven't had one in probably a decade, I wouldn't mind. I do impart some Jedi teachings in other in places here and there out. So this is where Jediism is. It is the philosophies that we see, or that we see and hear the Jedi are supposed to expound: compassion, helpfulness, knowledge, wisdom, truth, justice, all of this kind of thing. Seeing things from both sides of the coin, and then making a decision, not just a narrow view of what they think. It's research. It's taking a look at what you need to find. This is a difficult road. Anybody can learn it. But it's not for everyone. You don't have to have a martial arts background. You don't have to have a philosophical background. Just to want to learn. And we take it all from all walks of life. I've seen Christian Jedi. I've seen Wicca Jedi. I've seen. Honestly, I do know one Satanist Jedi. I don't know how it works, but he balances it. I haven't talked to him in a long time. But the core of it is cultivating that resilience, cultivating that mental strength, that wherewithal. And for me, as I teach it, balancing those three selves. And it's easy to get those out of balance. Someone who works out a lot but doesn't read, well, good physical self. Someone who reads a lot but doesn't know how to get up a bookcase or a staircase without breathing hard, well, got to work on the physical self there. And philosophical self, well, that's someone who meditates on the world a lot but has no interaction with it physically or mentally. And there's places for those type of people, but I think for a truly balanced self, you want to look at this. So in the series that I'm working on here, we're going to be breaking down different parts of it individually. And what I'm going to start with is the Orthodox Jedi Code in the next video that I do. But rather than going through all the lines in one shot, because that would be a really long video, I'm going to see if I can break them down into line by line to see where that philosophy is. And that's what I'm going to work on. I hope you guys are ready to come on this journey with me. So, with that, I'm going to leave you go for the evening. Make sure that you are taking care of your physical self. Drink some water. Make sure you're wearing sunblock. Stay cool, stay warm, depending on where you are in the world. Work on that compassion. Stay kind. Be kind to animals. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. That is a main thing right now, is being kind to yourself. Self-care. Because if you don't do it, your body will do it for you. Go read a book. Do something. Learn something. It's always good for you. Till then, my friends, please be kind and may the Force be with you.